Hello friends! In this video you'll see how the actors of the movie Titanic 1997 have changed. You'll know their real names and age. I will show you how they looked then and what's with them now in 2023. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! Jack Dawson can be charming, prone to some craziness, but at the same time he can show wisdom and resourcefulness in unconventional situations. He's good with children, not narcissistic, and is quite simple-minded. Cal Hockley is a rather wealthy man who has been in a relationship with Rose Dubuquator. He is quite opinionated, likes to be in control, and often makes decisions for Rose. Cal can be considerate of others at times. The role is performed by Billy Zane. Molly Brown, Kathy Bates, belongs to high society, but many of the ladies find her extremely vulgar and try to avoid her company as much as possible. She's quite self-confident and can make somewhat snide remarks, but is good-natured and helpful to Jack. Ruth Dubuquator, Frances Fisher, is a blood relative of Rose and got on well with Cal. She's an elegant lady who is used to living in luxury and is willing to do anything for a well-to-do life, even marrying off her only daughter to a man she doesn't love. Old Rose is related by blood to Lizzie and was the one who told Brock Lovett the true story of the Titanic wreck. She is a tactful woman who knows what she wants, played by Gloria Stewart, who passed away from respiratory failure in 2010. Brock Lovett is engaged in maritime expeditions in search of lost treasures. He's a good judge of historical information, a keen eye for detail, and a man of purpose. Wears an earring in his left ear, played by Bill Paxton, who died of a stroke in 2017. Spicer Lovejoy works for Cal Hockley, running his errands and keeping a close eye on his safety. He's not a slow man and has a knack for picking up on details, so he can tell the difference between the lies, played by David Warner, who died from cancer in 2022. Thomas Andrews works in shipbuilding, and it was he who designed the Titanic and made the effort to build it that brought him considerable fame. He is not used to bragging about his successes and doesn't like to indulge in ghostly hopes, played by Victor Garber. Bruce Ismay, Jonathan Haidt, heads the White Star Line, and it was at his behest that Titanic appeared. He is rather aristocratic and overly ambitious in achieving his goals, which in some way had a significant impact on the ship's demise. Can exhibit cowardice. Captain Smith was responsible for steering the Titanic and giving the necessary orders to the crew members. He has considerable experience as a captain and is well versed in the peculiarities of the ship. He is somewhat of the glory hound. Lizzie Calvert is a close relative of Rose Dubuquator, with whom she lives in the same house and accompanies her on trips when necessary. She is polite, attentive, and genuinely concerned about her grandmother's health. Has a pleasant smile. She was played by Susie Amis. Fabrizio is on good terms with Jack, who brought him to the Titanic. He has some excitement and is not afraid of the unknown. He has had romantic feelings for Helga Dahl, wears pants with suspenders, and can often be seen in a dark cap, played by Danny Nucci. Tommy Ryan, Jason Berry, was on the ship Titanic in the same class as Cartmel. He is quite sociable, can be friendly, and has been able to get along quite well with Jack and his friend. Tommy clearly knows what he can count on because of his financial situation. First Officer Murdoch was one of the captain's close associates on the Titanic. He followed in the footsteps of his relatives and also connected his life with the sea. Differs diligence and serious approach to their duties. The role is played by Evan Stewart. Second Officer Lightoller is one of the Titanic's staff members who joined the captain's staff. He has a stern temper, always follows the orders of his superiors clearly, and was involved in monitoring the dangers to the ship. He was played by Johnny Phillips. Fifth Officer Lowe, Ivan Grufford, is part of the Smith team, which has been approved for a voyage to America. He was involved in the evacuation of several lifeboats from the shipwreck, and he also took active measures to save the lost surviving passengers. Sixth Officer Moody, like Lowe, was also under Captain Smith's command. He ran various errands, including supervising the boarding of passengers aboard the Titanic, changing the speed of the ship, and organizing evacuations. He was played by Edward Fletcher. Colonel Archibald Gracie was also, like Cal, a privileged passenger on the Titanic. He's a reasonable man who knows the rules of etiquette and likes to ponder the subject of life at times. Lost Brandy, played by Bernard Fox, who died in 2016 from a heart failure. Carpathia Stewart is part of the crew of the seagoing vessel that assisted the Titanic survivors and worked to identify them. He is a fairly hardy man who is able to work in a variety of weather conditions and do his job properly. Quartermaster Rowe is mainly engaged to perform various duties on the deck of the Titanic itself. He promptly responds to all sorts of incidents, including being able to assist a passenger, and he also helped signal the wreck with rockets, played by Richard Graham. Quartermaster Hitchens, Paul Brightwell, is an employee of the Titanic's crew during its fateful voyage, where he occasionally served as helmsman at the helm. In dangerous situations, he is not particularly eager to help people and can often voice his displeasure. John Jacob Astor is Madeline's lover. He is an educated man who is widely known in secular circles, especially due to his considerable financial fortune and marriage to a young lady. More than once, he invested money in construction projects, played by Eric Braeden. Sir Dove Gordon was with his wife in first class aboard the Titanic. He's able to make small talk, is able to show courtesy, and has manners, but he is not particularly compassionate and is willing to do much to save his person. He was played by Martin Jarvis. Master-at-Arms is part of the Titanic's crew. During his shifts, his main task is to monitor the law and order of the passengers, as well as responding promptly to any complaints, including theft. He has a somewhat chubby physique. He was played by Ron Donacci. Benjamin Guggenheim, Michael Ensign, is part of the social elite and is well acquainted with Cal. He is not noted for his wife's devotion and often spends time in Leontine's company, but Benjamin remains a gentleman and has ceded his place in the Diany to women. Lady Dove Gordon, Rosalind Iris, is acquainted with Rose Bukater and is also active in the social life. She knows how to make the right contacts and behave appropriately in society. She designs quite playful lingerie, thanks to which she became quite famous. Madeline Astor is the second wife of John and the mother of their unborn child, although until the last she tried to hide this from prying eyes. She's a pretty sweet girl who knows how to be friendly towards other people. She was played by Charlotte Chatton. Irish Mummy was one of the passengers on the Titanic who traveled to America with her two children in third grade. She's a fairly level-headed woman and is a caring mother who tries not to panic, even in dangerous situations. Rose Dewitt Bukater is the daughter of Ruth and became Jack's only love. Social life doesn't delight her. She doesn't share her Martha's position and not supporting a marriage without love. She doesn't like being asked rude questions. Played by Kate Winslet. Cora Cartmel is the only daughter of Bert and his wife. She's a sweet and no-nonsense girl who acted very friendly toward Jack Dawson and might even be jealous of him. Cora is willing to learn new things and loves to dance, played by Alexandra Owens. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it on social networks, like it, and of course subscribe to the channel.